All right, guys, happy weekend. Back in the backyard here. Going to continue on with the content here. Fantasy football does not end here in the offseason on the number one fantasy football podcast. So I'm going to keep the content rolling here for you. I'm going to give you guys 4 bust-proof players for fantasy football 2024. These guys are super safe. Based on their ADP, they should definitely give you a solid return on investment. And you're not overpaying for them, so they should definitely not bust. First of all, let's define what a bust is. Let's talk about that because I think a lot of people get confused on this. It's very simple. It's when a player significantly underperforms their average draft position. For example, if we draft Justin Jefferson, round 1, for example, this year, and let's say he finishes as a top 25 receiver instead of a top 5 receiver, that's a huge bust. Now, I consider significant busts as busts. If he falls 1 round out of his ADP, I don't think that's a major bust, but it's significantly falling out of where they're drafted, out of their ADP, right? Completely busting. So that's, first of all, that's the definition of bust. So when we look at these 4 players, based on where they are being drafted right now, they are immense value, okay? You're getting them for good value. So the chances of them busting significantly declines. Does that make sense to you guys? Okay. So the ADP where they're at, where you're going to draft them is very, very good. So let's go through these 4 players. Before I do, make sure you guys do tap it, smash it, slap it, hit the thumbs up, guys. Really helps the channel. Also grab the 16 round draft. So it'll literally put you light years ahead of the consensus. Grab 16 rounds, guys. You guys are going to be very, very happy with the solution. Again, sleepers, breakouts, optimal players draft each round. 60 rounds is the game changer. Rankings are gone. No more rankings, okay? If you draft on rankings, you will lose your league. 60 rounds lays it all out for you. Grab it below, use code SMASH, and grab a ticket to the Sports Summit. Kyron Williams, Trey Benson, Pat Frymuth, Rashid Shaheed, and more are going to be there. You're entered for a PS5 giveaway as soon as you grab a ticket to the Summit. So grab a ticket to the Summit, grab 60 rounds, the ultimate fantasy experience. It's amazing, all right? So I'm in the backyard here, guys. Spring is back, so I'm going to be doing more outdoor videos, especially on the weekends, because the weekends I don't like to be in the studio. I like to be out a little bit, getting some vitamin D. So I'm going to keep the content rolling here for you, okay? So smash it, tap it, slap it. All right, I can hear the birds chirping. It's amazing. All right, so the first bust-proof player, must-have fantasy football player that's bust-proof is Ramondre Stevenson. Currently round 5 ADP, guys. This is amazing value for a guy who's a clear-cut RB1 on his team. They brought in Antonio Gibson. They've got Hasty there. They've got a bunch of bottom feeders as backups. Stevenson finished 35th last year. A big part of that is he only played 12 games, and Zeke was there. Zeke was an absolute pest. Guess what? Zeke's gone, so that frees up 184 attempts. Prior to this NFL draft, Stevenson came out and said, hey, man, I want to be the workhorse running back. Feed me the ball. I can handle it. And sure enough, he's a fully capable running back that can handle it. And sure enough, the Patriots fulfill his request because they didn't draft another running back or bring another one in on free agency other than Gibson. But Gibson sucks. I mean, he's had fumble issues in the past. He's never been a true workhorse running back. And from what I'm hearing in reports, he's just going to be used as a pass-catching running back, Antonio Gibson, okay? Mind you, Stevenson can still catch the ball as well. 38 receptions last year, 619 yards on the ground, 4 rushing touchdowns, 156 attempts. Again, Zeke was a pest in that offense. He's gone. They believe in Stevenson. He was literally untouched after the NFL draft. It seems like the Patriots are going to be running with Stevenson. New coaching, no Belichick anymore. They could go to a workhorse running back, and Stevenson is primed. Now, when I say that he is a must-have, bust-proof guy, you're getting him in round 5. And again, you don't have to worry about him potentially busting is because you're not paying a first or second or third round pick for him, even a 4th round. If he finishes as because he's RB20, if he finishes as a top 20 running back, he's pretty much bust proof, and he could easily potentially finish as a top 10 to top 15 running back based on the opportunity and the freed up volume there with Zeke being gone. So Stevenson, great value, round 5 ADP. That could rise as we hear more reports of him being a workhorse running back here in the offseason. Absolutely love him. Next guy here, absolutely love this guy, is Keon Coleman. I'm actually in a dynasty league now, and I actually missed out on Keon Coleman. He actually got drafted way ahead of his ADP, currently round 10 ADP. That should definitely skyrocket as soon as we hear more reports in the offseason of him gelling with Josh Allen. He was a 2nd-round pick by the Bills. I missed out on him in this draft because it's a dynasty league, and rookies are coming off significantly higher than where they would come off. I think it came off in like the 6th round or something crazy like that. And I actually grabbed Brian Thomas Jr. because his ADP was significantly higher in this dynasty draft. And I thought that Keon Coleman would have came back the other round. And because he was like, at least another 10, 15 receivers away on ADP. So I'm like, nobody's going to reach for Keon Coleman that early. And sure enough, on the turn, I lost Keon Coleman. So I'm trying to trade for him. I really like him. I think the opportunity is there. And what's so amazing about it is when I say he's bust proof, he's wide receiver 50 at the time of this recording, round 10 ADP. So I see this guy finishing as a top 10, 15 receiver because there's 160 freed up targets with Diggs gone and 80 targets freed up with, Diggs is gone, 160 freed up targets, and Gabe Davis is gone, 80 freed up targets. Tons of volume there. They brought in a bunch of bottom feeders like MVS, Chase Claypool, Mac Hollins, Curtis Samuel. Listen, Keon Coleman's going to be the man. Mind you, they got a lot of receiving options, just not very good ones. But Keon Coleman, wide receiver 50, 6'4", 210. Again, second round pick, very high draft capital, ultra elite player, very dynamic, good for 50-50 balls, very strong coming down with the ball. Good red zone target. He's going to be amazing. Him and Dalton Kincaid are absolutely primed. Now, some people say I love Dalton Kincaid this year. I do. I think Dawson Knox, if healthy, can still be a thorn there. But great opportunity for Kincaid and Coleman to be the 1-2 punch there in Buffalo. Keon Coleman must have wide receiver this year. Wide receiver 50 at the time it's recording mid-May. That's absolute value and a big-time sleeper, okay? Two more here for you. Again, make sure if you have not got 60 rounds, grab it. If this is making sense to you, Joe's thinking outside the box. Oh my God, it's common sense stuff. I don't want to draft on rankings anymore, right? If you don't want to draft on rankings, if you're sick of the copy and paste stuff, grab 16 rounds. It is the game changer. I've linked it below. Grab it, okay? Next guy is Jared Goff, QB 14. 91 overall, average round draft position 7 to 8. Now, here's the deal, man. The offense is primed. Amon-Ra St. Brown just got paid heavily. Big time. They've got Jahmyr Gibbs, dynamic, amazing playmaker, catches the ball in the backfield, lots of check downs, lots of extra yards after catch when Jared Goff checks down, throws the ball to him. This guy was absolutely amazing last year. He was second in passing attempts with 605, second in passing yards with 4,575. He passes a lot. Good. I mean, his interceptions could go down. I mean, 12 interceptions last year. That can go down. 30 to 12. I want to see more touchdowns. That's very, very viable. Jared Goff got paid heavily. Again, round 7 to 8 ADP. And he's quarterback 14. Now, what I've been doing is I've been getting an ace quarterback. I explained this in the 16-round draft, so I can still get an ace quarterback rounds 3 to 4, and I'm able to get Jared Goff, believe it or not, as a backup. And he can also be your starter. So he is absolutely a bust-proof must-have quarterback. And I've got him as my QB1 in a 2 quarterback league because I actually ended up going in my Dynasty League. I went Byjan and Breece Hall was my first 2 picks. Ended up getting Goff later as my QB1. And I'm very happy with that because I was able to get the 1-2 punch at running back while everybody else was getting quarterbacks. I'm like, hey, man, I was drafting I think I was drafting 8th or 9th in that. I was 6th in that. So all the quarterbacks that I liked were gone right off the bat. Josh Allen was gone. CJ Stroud was gone. Jalen Hurts was gone. So I'm just like, dude, I'm just going to get Breece Hall and Byjan and Breece. And I was able to get Goff later as my QB1 in a 2 quarterback Dynasty League. I know it's Dynasty. I want the younger quarterback, but still, man, I rocked on the skill positions and I'm doing really well. So Jared Goff, bust proof, great value, great offense. Look for consistency out of him. Love him, okay? He's set to be another... And again, he finished last year, a 7th quarterback? Top 7. Now he's sitting as QB 14. I'll take that. And a big part of that is because he lacks that rushing upside, but he still can put top 10 numbers up, okay? Very, very important. And the last guy here, again, smash it, tap it, slap it. Let me know who's bust-proof must-have player for you. But I got to talk here about Najee Harris, RB27. Finished 23rd last year, so a lot of copying and pasting going on. I think I just read a report that he lost a bunch of weight, lean muscle mass. Now he's really, really in a mode where he's like haters are on him. He looked lackluster the past couple of years. His average yards per carry weren't the greatest over the years. 4.1 last year, not bad. 8 touchdowns, just over 1,000 yards. We're going to get that up this year, okay? Again, it's a contract year. The guy's got to prove himself. He's round 6 to 7, and you're getting a potential RB1. But let me tell you the negatives with him. Again, I've owned him. I had him in his rookie year. He had, 1,200 rushing yards. He looked good. He was a top 3 running back PPR. What turns me off about him is Arthur Smith. I really feel Jalen Warren's going to get integrated a lot more, and that's going to be a problem, especially in the pass-catching situation. So you're going to have the Jalen Warren pest, but, I mean, which running back doesn't really come with a committee? Most of them do right now. And you're getting Najee for round 6 to 7. And then you got to contend with Arthur Smith, which I'm not a real fan of as well. that could be an issue as well. They could use Warren more, and he may limit Najee. We don't know. We don't know. We saw what he did in Atlanta. It was a disaster for Bijan, and I just hope that doesn't continue for Najee Harris this year. But when you're looking at a guy who's bust proof, meaning he could easily surpass his average draft position and finish as a top 10, top 15 back, it's Najee Harris. Like I said, RB 27, round 6 to 7. He has that top 10 upside because he can get the volume. He's hungry. He's leaning up. He's got a chip on his shoulder, and he could get a lot of volume. So will he finish top 10? Probably not. Maybe top 50, maybe top 20, but he still supersedes his average draft position around 6 to 7, and he could be a viable RB1 that you're getting for value later. Sleeper at running back, man, based on his value. So Najee Harris, great value, bust proof based on his average draft position, along with the other guys, Jared Goff, Keon Coleman, and Ramondre Stevenson. All right? If this is making sense to you guys, smash it, tap it, slap it, turn on that bell. NFL news, honest NFL news and fantasy football analysis to be light years out of the competition. Grab 60 rounds, grab a ticket to the summit. And of course, guys, comment below. Let me know below. Make this interactive. Which is a must-draft player that you believe is bust-proof for fantasy football 2024? I'd love to get your feedback. Go out there, guys. Enjoy the weekend. Happy Sunday. We'll talk soon, guys. I'm out.